Writing never seemed easy to me. It was never like an intuitive way of expression. I mean, I could write an essay at school and I was, I guess, decent, but going outside of an assignment and writing something of my own for myself, it always felt a bit scary. I was always more inclined to visual arts in general and didn't really write. Not until 4 years ago, when I was in a kind of tough place mentally, so I decided to give it a try and I wrote my first journaling entry, everything that was on my mind on the page, and it kind of helped, but for some reason I didn't continue. It was only a year after when I bought this notebook and decided to give it another try. I took that first entry and put it here in the beginning and started to write a bit more consistently. Still not every day, but I started to get a taste of it. And little by little, step by step, I was becoming a bit less afraid of my own thoughts. I was getting used to expressing myself in this way, to have this kind of dialogue with myself. I liked the idea that when I write about my thoughts, about the events that happen in my life, impressions, they don't fly away of my head so easily. Not only because I get them documented and stored, but also the very fact that I'm taking a moment and trying to formulate what's on my mind, trying to make sense of it, it helps me live through it more consciously. And what's even more important is that I started to see my life as a story that continues each day with each new entry that I write in my journal, and I never know what will happen tomorrow, maybe something unexpected, and I'm kind of curious to know where my story goes, so it's kind of fun. And also I feel that nowadays, when everything is becoming more and more digital, fragmented, discrete, it is quite valuable to see your life as this continuous narrative, something that stays constant. At the same time it moves and changes, but you have this connection between your past self, your present and your future self, and it's all like intertwined. I feel that when we are trying to categorize everything and come up with like a system for our life, sometimes it might lead to oversimplification. We lose certain nuances and potential insights in those like in-between moments that don't necessarily fit in one category or another. So that's why I chose to keep just one notebook for everything, like for most things. I log my daily events, I write my thoughts, I mention people that I meet, movies that I have watched, I write out like quotes or insights that I get somehow. I figure out my doubts, I write my hopes and inspirations. So basically everything goes in a kind of a chronological order, so by the end of the day I have a quite complete picture of what this day was about. I see what occupied my mind, how my time and attention was distributed, and since I have everything on the same page, I can see connections and I can see some non-obvious correlations between different parts of my life. I can highlight things that seem to correlate with the same color, or I can draw like an arrow or something else. This visualization on the page, to me at least, makes it much more easy to make sense of life. I do have also a pocket notebook. This one is just for very quick notes when I need to just remember something or have a to-do list, grocery list. Sometimes I do little swatches of pencil or something if I go to an art store or I need to just quickly figure something out. I allow myself to be kind of messy here because I know that I will probably not forget whatever I meant with those scribbles during the day or two when they are relevant. While here in my main notebook I try to be a bit more attentive and clear because this is something that I'm going to refer to much later, namely in 1 year. Each day I go back and read the entry from that date a year ago, basically the same day but last year. This way I know that I'm reading everything that I write at least once, and this period of 1 year has this kind of striking effect, like wow, it's been already a year. For example, it's been a year since something happened and I felt like it was yesterday, or it's been a year since I've planned something but I've been postponing it for a year. It's been a year and this aspect of my life didn't change. So it really makes you think and maybe review some of your strategies or plans, or just some random thought from a year ago might answer your question today, or just a memory that feels nice to go back to. So you basically live your life twice. First time as you write it, as you live it, and second time as you read it like next year or some other time. Because as you live the moment, you don't really know what it means yet. But when you go back to it sometime later, it already has a place in your mind and you remember it and live through it again, already knowing like the meaning of it, and there is something nice about it, I feel. Another long-term effect that I noticed from writing every day is that I became better at expressing myself, to the point of me actually recording this video, which some time ago I wouldn't even imagine. I mean, of course my speaking abilities are not ideal by far, especially in English. It is not my first language, but I gained confidence, readiness to speak, to open up, to quickly formulate an idea, first of all to myself, but also to other people. And speaking of other people, journaling also helps you develop relationship with people, because you document a lot of things and you remember more about the person, and it helps develop a deeper connection and better understand each other. You see patterns, dynamics, both with people and in your own life. You have this bird's eye view and you can see like trends that usually escape our attention in day-to-day life. But as you flip through your notes, you can notice how focus of your attention was shifting throughout this time, what distracted you from your goals, because nowadays attention is a resource that everyone wants, everyone tries to capture your attention, and having this point of reflection allows you to kind of reclaim your attention and have more control over it. So as you see, there is a lot of profit to keeping a journal, and if you haven't tried it yet, I would advise you to do so. If you would like to try, keep it as simple and flexible as possible, at least at first. Take a notebook, it can be a cheap one or a nice one, whatever inspires you and doesn't intimidate you too much. Write today's date and a few sentences, whatever is on your mind. Try doing it for a week and see how you feel. See how does it feel to see each day represented on a page, how your mood has changed throughout this week, what were you doing, and imagine years from now to still know exactly what each day was about. You might want to add more information to your entries to make it even more interesting. Another small tip is to try to be honest with yourself which is of course hard because there is this fear that someone might read it or something. But I feel that the best gift that you can provide for your future self is a real picture of how life really felt, a real unfiltered story of your life, because every good story has ups and downs, good and bad, happy moments, sad moments. That's just how it goes. You could imagine yourself as an external observer of your own life, which would make you both the writer and the main character of your story. That's why this practice is so precious to me. I know that no matter what happens in my life, I will always have this space of reflection where I don't judge myself, I don't drown in emotions, I just tell the story. I feel there is something peaceful and therapeutic about that. See you.